What up, what up, what up, what up, family? How you doing? It's your boy D, and this is D's Daily DD. I want to welcome you back for another freaking amazing video, right? I've been hearing some rumors about AMC and Disney, and I'm sure you have too. So I decided to dig into it, and I wanted to see what was going on with it, and I just want to give you my thoughts and opinions. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. It's not financial advice, right? So don't take it as that. Take it for educational and entertainment purposes only. A lot of these things are my opinions, my thoughts. Always do your own DD. My financial journey is different than your financial journey, so please always make your own decisions when it comes to investing and trading and stocks and all that. All right, guys. But yeah, I just want to give you my take on it. I think it would be amazing actually if Disney partnered, merged, bought out AMC, whatever sort of news. And of course, I'm going to give you the receipts for that because that's what I found and that's what I'm looking at, the information I found. I think it actually all makes sense. In my head, it would be a great partnership, a good deal. And there's little hints that I found too that I want to point out that I think will help make sense of all this. Okay. And then, we can compare it to past squeezes and what has kind of happened. Like I can, give you some data points on what happened with the Volkswagen short squeeze and what caused it. I went back and did some research on that. So yeah, guys, as always, I hope you're having a great day. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. I appreciate every single one of y'all. Don't forget that, okay? And yeah, I got some valuable info that I want to bring to y'all. So let's jump into it. Alrighty, fam. Check this out. It should be this one here. Yep. Okay, cool. So I'm going to talk about Disney times AMC, right? If there was any sort of news or partnership that's about to come out. Now, this is not guaranteed. This is still speculation. There's nothing that has, secured or guaranteed that this is coming. It's just the information and the data that I was able to pull up, and I'm just going to give you my thoughts on it. So, first off, you have to remember Disney has Pixar that makes movies, which would make sense business wise. Okay. Why not, work with AMC? They're the number one theater chain around the world. And, they have a strong foundation, the apes. They have a lot of foot traffic right now. So why not, do this? Why not have AMC and Disney do something together? It would make sense to me. And before you're like, oh, well, there's a law or whatever that blocks it from doing that. Let's touch on that. Here you go. So in 1948, the United States Supreme Court made the landmark decision known as the Paramount Decree that movie studios could not own movie theaters, as the vertical integration violated United States antitrust law. This decision stood until August 7th, 2020, when the courts granted the Department of Justice's motion to lift the decree over a period of 2 years. In other words, studios like Universal and Warner Bros. Are allowed to own movie theater chains in the United States for the first time in almost 70 years. Instead, studios say they're rooting for exhibitors to survive on their own. Right? Here's some more info. Now, this is from 2020, this article here. The last one, let's see, when is this one from? All right, so this one's from October 15, 2020. So just do take in mind, I mean, this is past data, but check this out. But once you include the shortening of the theatrical windowing period in both movies at the part of companies like Disney, again, kind of weird, right? This is old, but it's popping up right here. The ending of the Paramount Decree will make it far easier for studios to purchase entire theater chains and show only their movies. All right, so I just want to point that out that from what I've researched and looked at, that law is not blocking Disney anymore right now, currently, right? So I wanted to point that out. Next, Disney, right? This is a positive move, right? I'm telling you like why I think Disney could do this, and why it would benefit them. So you know how Disney has stores in the malls with Disney products and all that. They would be able to move those stores into the AMC lobbies, right? So think about it like because they own ESPN, Disney Plus, Hulu, Star Wars, Marvel, right? They have a lot of things in their portfolio now. So think about that, like the Marvel toys, the Spider-Man, or I don't know if Spider-Man is Marvel actually, but just the Marvel toys, the Star Wars toys, any new movies that would come out. When people get out of the theater, right? If the store's right there, most likely your kid's gonna want something, you're gonna want something, and so on. Okay, so I think that would help. With those sales alone, I think they could pay a lot of the rent and not have to pay rent for those separate Disney stores, right? Wouldn't that make sense? All right, I'm gonna show you this this checkmate tweet that Disney put out, not AMC, that Disney put out, and it was on 9/22/22. So let's go back because I did pull it up. Okay, here. September 22nd, checkmate. So to me, I'm like, are they dropping hints as this goes along? Maybe this has already been in the talks. Okay, so you have that. And then you have this other one with the cat that someone else has pointed out. Let's scroll up. That's what I'm telling you guys. Like this is very possible, guys. We just haven't gotten word of it. Maybe things are in motion right now in the background, but it is very possible, in my opinion. And then you have this one. We could all learn a little bit more from Des, right? So this somebody pointed this out. I didn't notice it, so they said, but this cat is staring at this number 73 up here. So go down. What else? All right. So the net worth of Disney, as I looked it up right now on Google, was 186 billion. On Webull, according to their market cap, it's around 190 billion. Their long-term debt seems to be around 46 billion, and the shares outstanding is 1.82 billion, with a share price of $104. So, as we look over AMC, we already know they're around 5 billion in debt, with about a billion in cash. And you have to pay attention to all this, right? So short interest is around 19%. Both have earnings on November 8th. Okay, so that's another thing that I'm like, wow, that's interesting that they both will announce earnings on November 8th. Shares outstanding, we know of AMC, 516 million. Ape shares are supposed to be 516 million, so that's around a billion. So even if they were to merge these, right, you have this float and this float, you would end up with a higher share price than what AMC is currently at, $9.40, which seems like a good deal for Disney, right? If they can buy it on the cheap because the short sellers have driven it down. In my eyes, and from my research, any merger, investment, acquisition news would be the short seller's nightmare, in my opinion. That would definitely start the panic, okay? And just again, to kind of back this up with some like what's going on, let's go to the butcher of Wall Street here. So this is not an 8K amendment, but even more bullish, it was filed 8-4 with the 8K and shows any buyout, merger, consolidation of Ape shares would automatically convert to AMC shares, forcing shorts to close Gamma brokers. So somebody put this up. I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but it says there was an amendment on it, okay, on the 8K filing A-812B on 8-4. So that to me, again, another thing that's like making sense to the pieces of the puzzle if this is going to happen. I can't predict the future again. Like I said, it's not guaranteed, but after looking at all this information, yeah, I would definitely want some kind of partnership. And there already has been news. So last thing with this, watch, before I get into the VW squeeze, let's go to Adam Aaron. And on September 11th, remember, he tweeted, Disney and AMC do huge movie business together. Okay. So that's another clue, I think. So, all right, now let's go jump into the Volkswagen part. So what happened during the Volkswagen squeeze? And I'll show you a picture here. The chart, everyone knows that chart. If you're, everyone should know it. I'm sure everybody's seen it. But Porsche, when this squeeze happened, they bought 44% of the shares, and they announced some news on October 26th, which was a Sunday. And this is what created a lot of panic for the short sellers. When Porsche announced that they had 44% of the shares and had 33% in options, that shorts had no exit. That's basically what happened with the panic, because I did a little bit of research. I watched some videos. At the time, there was less than 1% of the shares for the shorts to cover on VW. Compared to AMC right now, right? For a long time, how much how many times have the apes said, or even AMC has said, the retail investors own 80 to 90% of the shares. Okay. They slowly grew their position, so it wasn't like a one-time hit for VW, for Porsche growing their position, and it was not a hostile takeover. So they didn't outright buy them; they just had an investment in them. Like, so the same way that Ken Griffin and Citadel injected money into Melvin Capital, I would kind of think of it this way, where Disney would inject money into AMC to help them with the debt and the balance sheet, or if not straight up, buy them out, although it's not guaranteed. Remember that. So at the time, VW had 12% short interest in October 2008. And the price, when it squeezed, it went from around $200 to $1,200. On that Sunday following that week, right, when they announced that news, the short sellers panicked, and they are the ones that set off the short squeeze because they all were trying to get out. They couldn't. And in the video I saw there, it showed how there was short sellers that were grown men, grown women that were crying and just in pain, and just couldn't believe their eyes, right? Because anything happened in the stock market, and you never know what's going to happen in the stock market. So when they got squeezed, they lost a lot of money. I think it was around $30 billion for this squeeze, and it didn't last forever, but the short squeeze happened. Okay, so that's why I'm comparing it to what's going on here. This is why I think this is possible. If Disney came in, purchased some shares in AMC, or invested in them, right, or some kind of partnership, exclusive partnership, then guess what? I think the same reaction would happen, because at this point, right, everybody knows what's going on with the shares and what the apes have been saying for a long time, and so on. So that was the Disney Plus news. Lots of new movies coming out. So I'm expecting some sort of news, guys. I've already said it right in my past video. So either we're gonna get like some Disney news here, we're gonna get some news from Highcroft, or we're gonna get some news from the ape offering. We don't have none of that information yet, but that's what I'm expecting. And this was the research I did, right? And I just wanted to bring it to my subscribers so you guys can make your own decisions and see that this information is out here. So for some reason, right, the 4 thing, I still haven't been able to figure that out. I've been working for 4 years. He mentions the number 4 multiple times through his tweets. And then the other one that is interesting, oh, and not just that. So when AMC has earnings on that Tuesday, let me look it up real quick. It should be a Tuesday. Yeah, it's a Tuesday. And guess what? That is election day as well. So, they say news moves the markets, catalysts. So I'm really, really happy to be reading this and looking at this and making, thinking that this is a possibility here soon. But yeah, acquisitions have helped Disney expand its reach in media and entertainment, including 21st Century Fox, which it acquired in 2019 for $71 billion. So think about, they bought Star Wars, Toy Story. It would make sense, in my opinion, for them to buy AMC or do something with them, because they're along the same, business. I mean, sort of. Disney's, of course, a lot bigger. They do a lot more things. But to me, they're in the same realm. And guess who's left standing now? AMC theaters, compared to other movie theaters. And yeah, we had a good Green Day. I'm not going to spend any time on that. Still looking at the cost to borrow, 17.9 with 80,000 shares available. Although they did have, around supposedly 2.6 million, and then it dropped to 100,000. So somebody borrowed those shares. All right. And yeah, the last thing, okay, just I'm going to wrap this up. But I did notice that the days to cover was at 6 yesterday, because AMC has had lower volume. And there it is, 6 days to cover, which is a high. It would, theoretically, with this volume, it would take the short sellers about a week to get out of their short positions if they were trying to. And remember, the last time it went above 5 was back in May 2021, which was when, the AMC squeeze started back then. All right, guys, so thank you for coming by. Thank you for looking at the information, the data. That's all I got for you guys today. I hope it made sense. I hope you gained some value. Share this video with apes. I think it's important. Like the video, subscribe if you haven't. And hope you have a great rest of your day. Catch you in the next video.